Hey everyone, welcome to the Sunny Go One Piece podcast. And on this episode, we are actually taking a detour from our normal rewatch episodes and diving into the One Piece anime opening themes. And I'll be ranking them from my least favorite to my most favorite. The One Piece openings are all so awesome. They get you so hyped for every episode. And each one is a banger on their own. I also love that as the series went on and became this huge pop culture sensation in Japan, they started getting all these huge pop stars and groups that I grew up loving or loved at the time, and they all started wanting to write or record these openings for One Piece because many of them became huge fans themselves. And also, fun fact, Avril Lavigne is a huge fan. Which I just recently found out. And while she's never performed an opening song, she went on to perform the song for the One Piece Film Z movie. Now, moving back to the rankings, so first off, right off the bat, I want to say major spoiler warnings because I will be talking about all the openings up till the newest one, Dreamin' On, which debuted with episodes 936. You can, of course, skip the ones that you don't want spoiled, as I will usually mention the episodes they appear in and which arcs they cover before diving into any spoilery stuff for each. I love all of these songs and listen to them pretty much all the time in any situation. And they always do such an amazing job putting you in a great mood. And these rankings are my opinion only, and you'll find they're incredibly subjective, especially when I lay out the criteria I use to rank them. So what are these criteria? So yeah, like I said, they're going to be extremely subjective based on how much I like the song itself, both the anime version and the full version of the song, the animation that accompanies them, at what point in the series it occurs, and any personal memories attached to them, because I've pretty much experienced all these openings as they debuted, and with the exception of We Are, obviously, because I was not into the series quite yet. They're all associated with very specific periods in my life, and so those all have very nostalgic or memorable moments. With all that out of the way, let's get started. Number 23. At 23, I have the Straw Hat version of We Are, sung by the main cast of One Piece. This is last on the list, not necessarily because I like it the least, but really I don't consider this to be an actual opening. It lasted like 8 episodes, and they didn't even bother to give it a new animation instead of opting to use the original We Are animation with vertical bars on either side, since at this point One Piece had gone to the 16:9 HD aspect ratio, and this just kind of feels like it was just kind of thrown in there, so I'm not really going to count this towards the real ranking. Number 22. So at 22, we have Kaze wo Sagashite, or Search for the Wind, if translated, performed by Mari Yaguchi. This song was so weird when it was released, especially the timing. Don't get me wrong, I like this song a lot, but tonally it's really different with this sort of playful kiddie tone. But what's really weird is the fact that this was the opening to the later half of Impelled Downs and the beginning of the Marineford arc, one of the most dire and tense moments in the series, with Luffy going through hell to desperately save Ace. And this theme's tone just does not match. With that said, this song is really fun. I even really like the last part of the animation where it teases the Marineford War with all the major players, the admirals, the Shichibukai, Whitebeard, all beautifully animated with Luffy and company falling from the sky. It's all really fun to see, and the song actually does do a pretty good job of hyping you up at that time. But, I mean, great song, just an odd tone and timing. Number 21. At 21, we have Hiroshi Kitadani's first appearance on the list, albeit he is just an accompaniment role with We Can, performed by Kishidan and the aforementioned Hiroshi Kitadani. This opening ran from episodes 747 to 806, predominantly during the Zou arc and the very beginning of Whole Cake Island. This song is here near the bottom because this song is probably the most average of them all. It's a fun and easy listening song, but there's nothing about this song that makes you just go, yeah, this is awesome. Also, the animation that went with this opening is also really bland and boring. This one, out of all of them, has the most static shots of characters standing there or just blank smiling faces at the camera. I swear I probably just ruined this opening for you, but go back and watch it and you'll just see so many scenes of characters just blankly smiling and staring the whole time. The one cool aspect is that we get our first glimpse of Kaido in this opening. Number 20. So number 20, we've got Bon Voyage, the fourth opening performed by Bom Bom Blanco, which ran from episodes 169 to 206, which was almost the entirety of the Skypiea arc. The song itself is really nice and chill. It has sort of a tropical vibe to it. I think what holds this one back for me is that it kind of lacks that sense of adventure that I think One Piece openings should have, except for a couple rare circumstances. And this one is just missing that. I do like that little detail of Luffy mimicking Zoro as the characters appear and Zoro playfully jabbing him for it. The montage of all the crew's pasts were great, and we got to see Usopp fish up Panda Man, or a Panda Man doll, towards the end, which was really fun to see. And weird fact, but this, I also think, is the only non-spoiler opening in the entire series. I guess Believe doesn't have any spoilers either now that I think about it. Never mind. Number 19. So at 19, we've got One Day, the 13th opening performed by The Rootless. This ran from episodes 459 to 492, which was during the Paramount War at Marineford. I know this may be much, much lower than most people expected for this song, as many people love this song. And this is one of those songs that it makes sense to have a somber and serious tone, as this was during the very dark time in the series, with the war happening and Ace's eventual death. This song was the perfect choice. I think this is just lower in the list for me personally, because I always prefer the happy, upbeat songs. While I do like this song and I think it's awesome, it's also much more quieter and has a more somber tone. And as simple as this opening is, it's animated beautifully and just focuses mostly on Luffy and Ace, while just showing flashes of the major players on both sides of the war in a really cool montage towards the end. But yeah, I just think that it gets held back a little bit just because of how much of the sadder tone this song has. Number 18. So at 18, we have Crazy Rainbow, the 8th opening by Taki and Tsubasa, which ran from episodes 284 to 325. This was roughly the post-NES lobby and beginning of Thriller Bark portion of the series. Crazy Rainbow also marks the first time the series ditched the ending theme and opted to make the opening theme 2.5 minutes as opposed to the traditional 1 minute 40-second opening. And Crazy Rainbow is similar to Bon Voyage, I feel like, and has that kind of chill tropical vibe again. But I love how upbeat this song is, and the trumpets in the song just give it this high energy feeling, and it's pretty awesome. You can also tell they put a lot of effort into the animation of this opening, as it doesn't have those still shots as much and has like this kinetic pacing whipping from scene to scene, which makes it fun to watch, and it brings to life some of Oda's famous color spreads from his manga, which was done quite a bit with the openings around this time. Number 17. So number 17, we have We Go, which ran from episodes 517 to 590, making it the longest running opening. The opening that kicked off the post-time skip era, or the New World era of the series, and through the entirety of the Fishman Island arc. Performed very poetically by Hiroshi Kitanani, the man who performed We Are, which kicked off the series. This was clearly done intentionally, and I love that callback to the past, and it was really cool to see that. Even bringing back the opening monologues from the narrator and Roger, it's got that same We Are sound and feel, but amped up to reflect where the series is, with this more heightened stakes and just more superpowered heroes. One of my favorite scenes in this opening is the transition of the Straw Hat from Roger to Shanks, then to Kid Luffy. Then we see him grow up from the pre-time skip Luffy to the 2-year time skip Luffy. A solid opening and solid song to get you hyped for the second half of the series. Number 16. Here at 16, I have Jungle P, the 9th opening theme performed by 50/50, which ran from episodes 326 to 372 during the first half of the Thriller Bark arc. Boy, that's hard to say. This is another song that I really love, as it's right in my wheelhouse of that fun, upbeat rock genre song, but the animation that accompanies this song is pretty bland and boring. The only real saving grace is that it dedicates the last portion to showcasing their new ship, the Thousand Sunny, which is what this podcast is named after, which was cool to see. Aside from that, I don't really have much else to say, and the only reason it's so much higher than the others I've mentioned so far is because I like the song, and that's pretty much it. Number 15. In at number 15, we have Over the Top, one of the newest openings performed again by Hiroshi Kitanani in his 4th appearance by this point. Over the Top ran from episodes 892 to 934, which is the beginning of the Wano arc. This opening is awesome, and the thing that really sticks out is the animation quality. At this point, the anime got a new director, and the animation quality as a whole got a major overhaul it desperately needed. And you can already tell with the amazing color work, the shading details, the variable line work, this opening looks stunning. The other striking thing about this opening is the sheer number of spoilers. Like, holy hell, if you're an anime only watcher, this opening was probably one of the most spoiler openings ever at the time, and it still kind of is. But nonetheless, this song is really fun to listen to. Number 14. Number 14, I have Hikarie, or Towards the Light, the third opening performed by the Baby Stars, which ran from episodes 116 to 168, which is the climax of the Alabasta arc and through the Jaya arc. This opening theme is great and has that quintessential One Piece feel to it. I love this song with its up-tempo and pop rock sound. The animation that accompanies it is great with beautiful and fully animated scenes the whole way through of the crew sailing the seas. And I think the reason this one is on the back half and is not so much a critique on this opening, but is a comment on how good the rest of the openings are that are above it on the list. I will say this opening easily has one of the most egregious spoilers ever in my opinion. So Robin is seen as part of the crew, and this opening started just as the fighting started in Alabasta. So at that point, if you're just an anime only watcher, you had no idea, or at least I didn't have any idea that Robin would join the crew, and it's just so blatantly shown here, like 20 episodes before she would eventually join. And so I feel like when I tell people to watch One Piece, I always tell them to skip this opening at least until she joins the crew, because it's just so big of a spoiler to just throw in there in the opening. Number 13. So in at number 13, we're at our first K-pop group opening, sung by Toho Shinki, as they're known in Japan, or TVXQ in Korea. I think that's how you say it. The 11th opening, Share the World. From this point on, all these songs are one I absolutely love. Share the World ran from episodes 395 through 425, which covered the Shabondi arc and part of the Amazon Lily arc. This song is freaking awesome. What isn't to love about this opening? It's got its own style with this smooth, cool rock vibe to it, but then when it launches into the chorus, it's this familiar, hopeful, adventurous tone we know for One Piece, and it blends them so well. Not to mention the animation for this is so fun and interesting, with the reveals of the supernovas of the Worst Generation, and the reveal of the final two Shichibukai with Boa Hancock and Jinbei. And that black and white opening of the Straw Hats versus the Pacifista looks amazing. I mean, I love watching that. They pack so much into this opening, and I absolutely love it. Number 12. So coming in at number 12, we have our newest opening, Dreamin' On, performed by Dice, or Da-Ice, which is currently running beginning from episodes 935, which is Act 2 of the Wano arc, till now. It's still going. I find it really cool that they wrote this song for One Piece and are actually fans of the series themselves, which from here on out is a recurring theme in a lot of these songs. This is easily the most beautiful and well-animated opening. Continue the new art direction from Over the Top. They step it up even more, and this opening is freaking gorgeous. The song itself is so fun to listen to, and it's got so much energy. The one huge knock on this opening is that during the chorus, instead of putting something really cool, like they normally throw in like a really cool sequence when the chorus comes in, but in this one, they just throw in random scenes from the episode preview of the previous episode, which really don't match up tonally with what's actually being sung. And so it just kind of like kills the vibe a little bit. Also, this opening continues the recent trend of some huge spoilers as well. But to me, as a manga reader, obviously I don't mind, but as an anime only watcher, you may kind of find it bothersome. And this song is just one of those songs that you can just listen to over and over. And I do. I mean, I still listen to this song over and over, even just a couple months after it's released. Number 11. Number 11, we've got another contribution from TVQX or Toho Shinki. This time we get a remix of We Are. This ran from 373 to 394, so they actually had two in a row. This one came right before Share the World. This one took place during the latter half of Thriller Bark. I count this one because it is an actual remix and not just a cover, and it does have a brand new animation to accompany it. And what can I say about We Are? This is a theme of One Piece, and they do a great job of giving it that pop boy band spin with some rock updates. I love how this opening celebrates the past in the first half with rapid fire silhouettes of the last villains like in the original We Are, and even gives a heartfelt nod to past crew members Vivi, Karu, and of course the Going Merry. Then the second half is literally rocketing to the future with the Sunny. And I also love the part with Luffy gearing up for Gear 2nd and the camera pans to Brook, foreshadowing him joining the crew. And yeah, it's just awesome and chills-inducing stuff in this opening. Alrighty, we are now at the top 10. So in at number 10, starting off, we have the original We Are, performed by the one and only Hiroshi Kitadani, which ran from episodes 1 through 47, encompassing the entirety of the East Blue Saga. This is one that started it all, and this opening is iconic and incredible, with that perfect adventure and optimistic tone with a splash of fun. I always get a kick out of the cheesy sound effects thrown in, and I can't listen to the full version of this song without imagining those sounds. I mean, it perfectly tells you what kind of show this is going to be and introduces all the characters and their quirky combat styles, as well as the villains. And as awesome as some of the other songs are on this list, this is One Piece. Like, this is the sound of One Piece. And when we all think of One Piece, we all think of We Are. And this song gets used to great effect when it shows up in the series itself. Number 9. So at number 9, I've got Wake Up, one of my personal favorites, running from episodes 629 to 686 during the Dressrosa arc. This song is performed by one of my favorite J-pop groups, AAA, and when I heard they were doing a One Piece opening theme, I was super excited at the time, especially since this was going to be the 15th anniversary for the series. This song also has a lot of special memories, as I was visiting my family in Japan with my dad when this opening had just started, and when I went to the One Piece store as well as the Baratier restaurant with my cousin, I heard this song a lot everywhere. Not to mention, I love this song. It's so freaking happy and hype. Like, one of the reasons I love AAA as a group is that they're a pop band with both male and female vocals, and they harmonize incredibly well. And they were also fans of the series and wanted to do a song for it, and it shows. I also had a small crush on Chiaki Ito at the time, who's since left the group, unfortunately. But I just love how this song seemingly keeps building up, except for the one weird interlude with a conversation between Luffy and Blackbeard. But then it just gets bigger and bigger, and even goes up another key, and by that point, you can't help but sing along and dance. Number 8. So at number 8, we've got Superpowers, performed by V6, another one of my favorite J-pop groups as a kid. I was surprised and excited they did this song, as by this point they were all getting older, and they're notoriously picky about doing opening themes for anything. But like the past groups, they too were fans of the series, and I for one am glad they did this song because I love Superpowers. This ran from episodes 856 to 891, which was the second half of the Whole Cake Island arc. The song is amazing, but paired with the opening animation, which centers around and highlights primarily one of the most epic 1v1 fights in the series, the Luffy versus Katakuri, and teases of Snake Man, just elevates this opening even more. Not to mention, I love the timing of how the song goes into its quiet interlude section as they pair it to when Luffy is beginning to learn his future sight with his advanced observation haki. Now that is gold. And so yeah, great song paired up with a great animation, lands it at number 8. Number 7. So at number 7, I've got Hard Knock Days by Generations from Exile Tribe, which is really confusing because Exile started out as your normal J-pop boy band, which I've actually been a huge fan of since like 2004, but over time the group grew in members, and they also swapped out of members and even spun off a few offshoot bands, and Generations being one of those. I've always been a pretty big fan of Exile, but even I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that group right now. Anyways, Hard Knock Days spanned from episodes 687 to 746, during the last portion of the Dressrosa arc. This opening has always been a fan favorite, it seems, and I agree. It's an awesome opening, and the song is amazing too. This opening has this like kinetic feeling to it, always in motion, moving from one beat to the next, with animation consisting of this fast-paced action, a noticeable lack of the usual static shots that, combined with such like a catchy and fun song, makes this one of my personal favorites. And I just love how this opening opens up with a bang, like with Luffy just punching through a freaking mountain. And then all the Straw Hats just showing up. And yeah, this opening, just really fun and really energetic and hype feeling. Number 6. So this is the point in the rankings where we just basically have songs that I absolutely love these songs. Like, they're not just like my favorite One Piece openings. These are songs that I just love in general over most other songs. And so I have a lot to say about each one. So these descriptions might get a little bit longer. But yeah, at number 6, I've got Hands Up, performed by Kota Shinzato, running from episodes 591 to 628 during the Punk Hazard arc. I know this is still outside my top 5, but Hands Up is one of my favorite and absolute favorites of One Piece openings. I just love this song. There's just something so uplifting and positive about this song, with its message of holding your head and hands and chest up high with pride and pressing forward with your dreams, breaking through barriers. It is definitely one of my go-to songs to cheer me up if I'm ever down. The animation that accompanies this is amazing too, starting off with one of the more unique beginnings with the progressive drawing and animation of the color spread. We get this softer build-up, but then when the chorus launches, we get ramped up to all the Straw Hats showcasing their abilities, with Luffy finally using the Gomu Gomu no UFO. It encapsulates everything you need to know about the Punk Hazard arc to get you excited, including the ominous tease of Luffy meeting Law. Then there's that slow portion with the silhouettes of the crew appearing one by one, culminating with Luffy just giving them a big stretched bear hug, till all of them always puts a smile on my face. Lastly, I love that little synchronization of the song and animation with the line "Motto look up so munehate," and they show Luffy pumping his chest up with pride. I know in most translations, the munehate is translated as hold your head up, because that's more common in English and that's colloquially what it means. But in Japanese, mune is chest, and the phrase muneharu is to stick one's chest out with pride. And so it's cool to see Luffy actually doing that at the same time. And so fun fact, if that's the reason why that scene shows Luffy pumping his chest out. And yeah, I just really loved that. And yeah, this song never fails to make me feel good. So that's why it's here at number 6. Number 5. All right, we are now in the top 5. These are some of my absolute favorite songs in One Piece, but also in general. So I have Believe at number 5, the second opening ever that followed up We Are, and boy, did it ever follow it up. Believe is performed by Folder 5 and ran from episodes 48 through 115, which covered most of the entire Alabasta saga. This is such a strange tonal shift from We Are. You know, We Are was this sort of folksy rock song, and then it goes to Believe, which is this full-on Eurobeat dance pop song. And it's actually a cover of a Eurobeat song called Dreamin' of You. It's a fun fact for you there, so that's why it has that weird tone. But I absolutely love this song. Like, I can't overstate how obsessed I was with this song as a teenager. And even to this day, I still love this song. The animation is nothing too special, and as it's actually just a summation of the East Blue Saga with just scenes taken from the anime up till now, played behind each character. And then there's one animated color spread of them running on the beach. But as simple and kind of lazy as this animation is, I honestly never cared because the song itself is so damn fun. I never skip this opening whenever I watch it, and which is why that lands it here at number 5. Number 4. At number 4, I have Hope, the first of 2 songs performed by the legendary J-pop artist Namie Amuro. This would be the second and last that she would do for One Piece, because shortly after recording this song, she would announce her retirement. And there's actually this amazing video online of the final live performance of this song that you should check out. It's pretty awesome. She was also a fan of the series, and Oda even commemorated her illustrious career by animating her in animation that accompanies this song for this episode of Skypiea special, and this was also played during her live performance. Hope ran from episodes 807 to 855 during the first half of the Whole Cake Island arc, making it the 20th opening. Right off the bat, I will say the animation in this opening is just okay, with pretty simple and albeit boring sequences, but really the only reason it's so high up on my list is literally because I freaking love this song. It's weird because this bucks the trend of me preferring upbeat songs, and this is definitely slightly toned down due to the covering the section where Sanji and Luffy have that falling out and temporarily leaving the crew. And that section is great in the opening, although major spoilers. But like I said, none of that really matters because I just enjoy this song. It's because it's about, well, hope. Specifically about someone being hope for someone else when they feel like they're all alone and dealing with something that they can't handle, which fits in nicely with how Sanji feels he has to shoulder the great weight of everything with Big Mom and the Germa 66 all by himself. But Luffy and the others show him that there is hope if they all rely on each other, and that sort of synergy between the animation and the song is amazing, and I personally can't stop listening to this song, which is why it is in at number 4. Number 3, all right. And in third place, I have Namie Amuro again with her masterpiece, Fight Together, which is actually the first of the 2 songs she would perform for One Piece, being the 4th opening running from episodes 493 through 516 during the post-Marineford arc. If I had to describe this song in one word, it would be beautiful. I was so excited to hear Namie Amuro was doing a One Piece opening at the time. Not only was I a fan since high school, but she was a legit superstar in Japan, and lending her voice to One Piece was just incredible. The song and the accompanying animation are amazing. This opening obviously coming off the heels of Ace's death and the aftermath, it needed to be somber but hopeful to reflect where Luffy was mentally, and it nails this tone perfectly. But unlike Hope, which is why this is one spot higher than it, is the animation is incredible in addition to the amazing song. Seeing Luffy saddened and reflecting on the loss of his brother to the 2 other montages in this opening is so good. The first one of each Straw Hat in their individual training sessions desiring to get stronger for Luffy after all Luffy has done for each of them, not being able to be there for him in his hour of need, really driving that. And then easily one of my favorite moments in any opening is the flashback montage of each member's journey to join the crew. I mean, seeing that is always just chilling. I love that little montage. It's all nostalgic and incredible. And then to cap it off, that metaphorical push from Ace as Luffy heads off to grow and into the new world. It's so good. Number 2. Landing at second place, I have one of my all-time favorite songs and openings, Brand New World, performed by the duo D51. The 6th opening in the series, it ran during the NES Lobby arc from episodes 264 to 278, which I have to say is the most criminally underused opening in the history of One Piece. I consider it to be one of their very best, and it only ran for 15 episodes. God, I mean, most of the other ones ran for at least 40 to 50 episodes, but I don't understand why Brand New World only got 15. This is essentially a perfect opening in my opinion. The song is amazing as it captures that perfect balance of fun pop sound and that adventurous feel that One Piece is known for. The song is just so damn fun. It's happy and catchy, and you can't not like it. I remember when this song first released, I listened to this for non-stop for about 5 months. Like, I would listen to it for hour-long workouts or like hour-and-a-half long drives, and for the first 2 months it was just the 1 minute and 30-second anime version, and I just listened to that over and over and over for hours. But not only is this song amazing, the animation that accompanies it is straight up incredible. It's got this bright, colorful, fun aesthetic, but the real amazing part is the last half. I especially love the part where it crescendos up to Luffy's first use of Gear Second and the Gomu Gomu no Jet Pistol, and how the bang in the song is timed with the jet pistol jumping into the chorus, leading to everyone's one-on-one battles, which I'm always super disappointed that the full version doesn't do this crescendo, and it just sort of trails off, leading to the next verse instead of the chorus. But the animation culminates with, in my opinion, the most epic moment of the series, the epic stare down at Enies Lobby to save Robin. That was a big deal at the time because while us manga readers were familiar with these scenes, this was the first time we get a taste of them animated, and we were all stoked for it. And this is why Brand New World lands at number 2 for me. And finally, number 1. If you haven't realized it by now, at number 1 and my all-time favorite One Piece opening, I have Kokoro no Chizu, or Map of the Heart. What can I say? I love this song. I mean, I've said that about every one of these songs, but it's more so with this one. Serving as One Piece's 5th opening during the Water 7 arc, it lasted from episodes 207 to 263, and it ushered in One Piece into the age of HD. I remember how shocked I was when I saw this opening. I was like, holy shit, One Piece is in widescreen and in HD, as I had heard no news up to this point that this change was going to happen during its original airing. But this song defined my time in college and is super nostalgic to me, as it served as somewhat of a comfort for me transitioning into my freshman year of college, and having something familiar as One Piece, it was really nice. Anyways, the song itself is amazing, performed by a girl band called Boy Style, and I was always disappointed they never really had any other hits aside from this one song. And just like Brand New World, it's super fun, upbeat, happy, but this also has that added hopeful tone as well. Whenever I listen to this song, it always instills a sense of hope and motivation, like I can do anything. And I love the combination of the rock guitar riffs as well as the trumpets, as it creates this energetic feeling with the beautiful vocals matched with it. The animation, while not as epic as Brand New World, is incredible in its own right, as it gorgeously animates in HD for the first time, with the opening of each member showing off their personalities as they fall from Skypiea, which is a nice bit of continuity in the actual story that we never really see in any other opening. This is also the first time we see the use of the in-story spoiler scenes, but I think this is still one of the best uses of them, as they merely tease moments but never let the anime-only watchers get spoiled, and it just leaves them speculating on what it actually means. But for me, I was always blown away at seeing Luffy's punch get frozen by Aokiji, as well as Usopp using the impact dial on Luffy's face, as those two moments specifically I was particularly excited to see animated going forward. Anyways, that was a little bit longer, but in essence, Kokoro no Chizu lands on the top spot due to its strong animation, amazing song, and strong sense of nostalgia for me. So there we have it, my rankings for all 23 openings in One Piece. Again, these are my opinions, and there really are no wrong rankings. As you can see, mine were affected greatly by very subjective factors, especially nostalgia for me, as One Piece has been a part of my life for such a long time. If you made it through all of them, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this special episode. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe if you feel like joining me on my rewatch, or if you're interested in more of these ranking videos, I may do them more often if people were wanting to hear it, but I know a lot of these rankings are more spoiler heavy, so it wouldn't really mesh well with my normal episodes, but I like to do them every now and then. Let me know your rankings on Twitter or Instagram at SunnyGo Podcast, and I hope to see you on the next episode.